John chapter 10 verse 11 says this, "I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep." Jesus as the good shepherd is one of those names, one of some names that he calls himself that we have a hard time understanding because it's a little different in our setting now. But the first hearers, the ones who Jesus was talking to, would have totally understood this name reference. You see that good shepherds were known as shepherds that were probably smelly. They probably wore some, kind of shabby clothes, and they weren't necessarily the desired people to be around. But they were men who looked out for their flock. They were men who spent time with their flock. They were dedicated to their sheep, both personally and professionally. And the sheep were their companions. They were their livelihood. And there's a couple of traits of a good shepherd. A good shepherd first cares for his sheep. He finds pastures with wonderful green grass that they can graze on, and that adds to their health. He cares for their wounds. He puts oil on them for them to heal more swiftly. He protects them from weather, and he protects them from predators. The second thing is a good shepherd knows his sheep. He may have even given them nicknames, or he knows what was unique about each one of those sheep. He watches them. He knows if they're acting strange, if something is off, or even if they are about to wander off. He provides them each with exactly what they need as they age and as they develop. And the third thing is a good shepherd also leads his sheep. He goes out in front of the sheep. He sets the path for them to walk on, and he knows if there is any danger ahead. He leads them. He maintains a presence by whistling or maybe even singing, so they know he is there. They know his voice. They know what he sounds like, and they know he is secure. And there were hired shepherds as well, and lots of those shepherds, those hired shepherds, would do many of those things as well. As employees, they would have had a vested interest in taking care of their sheep. That was how they were paid, and that is how they had their livelihood. But there's one major difference, and it's the passage that we read in John 10:11, is that the good shepherd lays down his life for his sheep. When danger comes, the good shepherd goes towards that danger. He doesn't run away and to try and protect his own life. He goes towards the attacker, towards the predator, in order to fight them off to save the sheep. A hired hand, the hired shepherd, would run away to save their own life. The sheep weren't that important to them. They were how they were paid, but they weren't a life or death type situation. A good shepherd would lay down their life for the sheep. And this is the same as our good shepherd. He doesn't have superficial or half-hearted interest in us. Jesus is completely committed to us. He cares for us. He knows us. He leads us, and ultimately, he laid down his life for us, his sheep. Between continuing his existence without us and facing death, Jesus picked death. He chose death over continuing his existence without us. And that's how much he loves us. And that proves he is the good shepherd who leads us. So be comforted by that reassuring presence that the good shepherd is by your side. And the challenge today is we want you to know that you are not alone. You will never be alone. Although you may not see the good shepherd, and maybe at times you may not even feel him, he never leaves your side. He is always there. And as you go about your day, talk to Jesus and tell him what you are facing, because he knows you, he cares for you, he leads you, and ultimately, he has already died for you.